What's up, guys? Matt here, coming at you with another quick video. Today, just going to take a look at upgrading the motor in this stock FCX. And I say upgrade, we're going to find out if it's an upgrade. I don't know. The stock motor is pretty good. I'm sure it's an upgrade as far as internals go, because I know Nick really tries to get the best brushes and everything he can on his motors. But this is a MofoRC Big Block motor. It shares the exact same bolt pattern as this stock motor. You can see here they look just alike with a different can, basically. A little bit different, but almost the exact same size, same bolt holes, everything. So we're going to find out if there is a need for this. I would think over time this is probably going to last longer than the stock motor, but kind of curious if I can tell the difference in them, honestly. So I know this is a good motor. Mofo has some really good motors, so I wanted to slap one in here, show you guys how easy it is to put in. So we'll make this swap, and then we will run this thing, maybe run it against the other stock rig, and see how it does. So let's get started. So really the easiest way to go about this is to just pull the transmission here. So we're going to take out these 4 screws on the bottom of the skid. Once you do that, you can usually kind of wrestle this around a little bit, get your drive shafts loose, and then that way you can kind of snake. Let me get a little more light here, maybe. You can kind of snake this shift cable or rod off of there, and this thing pulls out pretty easily. Putting it back in, a little bit tougher. It's really not bad. Jeez. Just trying to get that shift cable lined up. Now that we got that out, we're just going to take this cover off the back side. I'm going to remove these 2 screws. Pull those from the motor, and then we should be able to get our motor out. Some of these transmissions have a cutout for the pinion to go through. It don't look like this one does. They started cutting the case or having it notched out for the pinion, stock pinion, to where you can just slide that right out. This one, it looks like they pressed the pinion on afterwards, which has been the case with most of mine. I think I've had one of them. So that makes it a little bit tougher. If yours is like this, you're going to have to notch out around it. Try to get your pinion out, which is a pain. Glad they changed that, because this is very dumb. So you can see how I had to butcher that to get that pinion out of there, because it's very hard to get these pinions off of these motors. I have did it I don't fight that battle anymore. I just buy new pinions. But if your case is not cut out for the pinion to slide out, a lot of them have the grooves in it now. But I still run into a lot of these that I have to do this. I just had to keep taking my hobby knife and trying to score around the edge of the pinion to make a hole there, and then just pried it out basically. It makes a mess here. You're going to want to get all these shavings and junk out of there so it don't get mixed up in your gears. So it is a fun job, but that's the worst part of it, honestly. If yours is notched out, you're good to go. So I didn't push the pinion all the way onto the motor. I wanted to make sure I didn't have it on too far where I needed it exactly. So once you get it in here, and you can kind of tell that you're basically going to need it all the way down to where it's just almost touching the motor. You can see how this one is. Pretty much as far as you can go with it should be the case. So I'm going to go ahead and push this on a little farther now. And I left a little gap there, so if I ever want to pull this pinion off, I can get the pinion puller in there. Every time we take this in and out, we're going to have new shavings. Try to keep that blown out pretty good, but you can see that pinion's catching all of that spur gear, so we're good there. Straight bolt in direct replacement. All right, so we're bolted in. You gotta make sure you put your spur in there right off. I had it flipped for a second. Blow it out good, put the cover back on. Your mesh is all exactly the same. I mean, there is no adjustment for mesh in here. So we're using the same stock pinion, basically the same motor setup. We'll just slap it back in how it was. We'll get this thing installed and running. Big block. You don't want to forget this piece if it comes off. It needs to sit over the little shift rod there. This is probably the worst part. You have to try to kind of line this up and slip that rod back in. And you want to make sure your drive shafts are faced. So I try to face them. That just basically means this tab right here. If you have that facing up and down like this, one on top, one on bottom, you want your other side to be the exact same. So you have to try to hold all this, slide that in. Now you can just take the drive shafts loose, which may be what I do for the front. We'll see. Just like that. So you can see up and down, up and down. This one's a little bit off. So what I'll probably do is just take the screw out of here, take that loose and redo it, because that's easier than pulling this whole transmission back out and trying to realign that, because you have to make sure you keep the shift wire connected also. So it sometimes throws you off a little bit. That's why that rears out on the line a little. All right, so now we have the big block installed. I put stock wheels and tires back on this just so it's a direct comparison. We have a brand new FCX right here, completely stock, just out of the box, hasn't even been ran. So we're gonna kind of compare wheel speed with these, and then I'm gonna run this and kind of get a feel for the torque versus stock motor. I'm sure this has some better internals. I haven't broke one of those motors apart. They are really good stock motors, so I haven't had any issues with them. But maybe yours died. Maybe you're just one of those people that want to upgrade a little bit. This is a nice cheap option. I know Nick stresses over the internals of his motors. He wants to make sure he offers the best he can. He's here in the US. He takes care of everybody on warranties and stuff. So he don't want to have a bunch of stuff failing because he's just going to be out a lot of money replacing it, because he is very good about taking care of everybody. So MofoRC, this big block, we're going to test it out and see if you should upgrade it right away, or just maybe down the road when you feel like that stock motor is kind of going out. It's not quite got the torque speed that it had. You want to go to something nice, simple, and easy, straight bolt in. I'm sure this is going to be a great choice, but we're going to go check it out. So let's go run them. All right, so stock motor on the right, Mofo Big Block on the left, both stock batteries, both in low, 3, 2, 1. Nice. All right, so we gained a little wheel speed in low even with this big block, just straight bolt in. So that's pretty cool that we gained that much wheel speed on such a simple setup. All right, now we're putting them both in high, still stock batteries, everything. 3, 2, 1, go. Wow. This big block has got some speed. So you see here, the steering rate is all the way up. So we're gonna cut it to the right and just gun it. Okay, see that won't donut. Try it again, we're gonna cut it all the way left. We can't get a donut really, okay? Now, with this big block, big block, plenty of wheel speed to get the donut. And I know we're not doing donuts, but it just shows the power that we have there. All right, so I'm gonna do just a little slow crawl here over this rock on the bench, because honestly, on the course, you guys really can't tell any difference between these two motors. I can't tell a lot of difference, but I can feel more wheel speed with this motor for sure. The slow crawl is still really good. It's a little more touchy, I would say, maybe, but it's because you kind of got, more wheel speed. So just kind of got to watch it. But overall, still very smooth, but you gained a little bit of speed. And that's always a good thing, in my opinion, when you can gain wheel speed but keep a good slow crawl for those situations where you are trying to launch up a hill or whatever. All right, so stock truck again. Still a really good slow crawl. These things straight out of the box are amazing. The motor and ESC are a really good combination. The servos are excellent. These servos actually test out to be stronger than the Emax. So they are a really good servo. And look at that slow crawl. Stock, 100% stock system right here. So honestly, you're not going to change this out because you're wanting a better slow crawl, unless you're going to go brushless, Fury Tech, or even the Mofo Nano with a Lizard Pro or Ultimate, whatever. So this Mofo Big Block is a great upgrade if you're trying to get a little bit more speed, and I would say overall a better motor for 20 bucks. It's pretty hard to beat. This thing is packing a little bit more weight than the stock truck.
It does have the Trill portal covers on the rear there, and some upgraded steering links, but for the most part it's stock versus stock. But even pulling that little bit of extra weight, this thing still had more wheel speed. So I would say this is a great, super simple upgrade, or just direct swap if you have issues with the stock motor for some reason. Haven't heard too many issues with anything stock on these. They are really good out of the box. But I just wanted to show you guys this super cheap alternative if you need a motor, or if you just want that little bit of performance upgrade. So you guys let me know what you think. I appreciate everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell. Peace.